Well, hello there, everyone. This is Amanda, and I'm back with another tutorial to help teachers in their classroom make the most out of their technology. So, I'm wondering how many of you think that Google Slides is just for slideshow presentations? I bet most of you have been using Google Slides to do PowerPoint types of things and all the different kinds of collaging or project based learning. And that's awesome. And so I wanted to show a couple of other possibilities that Google Slides actually holds. Truth be told, I've stopped using Google Docs for most of the assignments that I create. When I create assignments for students, I found Google Docs to be very rigid. It can be really difficult to embed images and get things right in the place that you want them, especially since text boxes aren't so flexible in Google Docs. And so I've really made a really important switch over to Google Slides for a lot of the design heavy types of things that I like to make in my classroom. So I'm going to walk you guys through a really basic tutorial on some new ideas you might take into your planning. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of themes. I'm going to work with a blank canvas today. And I'm going to start by showing you guys how to manage the page setup. This is the key that a lot of people have forgotten or didn't even know was here. If you click on page setup, you can see that everything's set up to be ready for a slideshow. If you'd like to make a handout for class, simply click on widescreen and change this to custom. And here you guys can make a change based on inches or even centimeters, points, or pixels. We'll just click on inches and we're just going to do 8.5 by 11, just like a standard sheet of paper. And there you go. We've got a piece of paper. So when you look at this, you can imagine the same thing you would see on a Google Doc, except look at how much more flexibility you have. By using slides, you can actually design handouts with the flexibility that you want. So Romeo and Juliet, you can move this to the left. You can get it all the way almost to that margin without having to worry about the lineup on Google Docs. Move it over here. All right, and then we can have Act 1, Scene 1. I can move that over. And you can see there's a lot more beauty and fun things you can do. And I haven't even changed the font yet. So you can really mess around and do a lot of cool things here with slides. The other thing that I like in slides is the ability to use word art. So if you go hit insert and then word art, this is a really fun technique for using titles and headings that kind of takes a little bit of time to use in Google Docs. So we'll just go ahead and do word art here. You guys can see word art simply stretches the text to fit the entire box, and it will re-stretch with the mouse as you readjust the box. That is also a feature that is not in Google Docs. It's really only here in Google Slides. So here, of course, you can change your font, right? This is all the same as before, right? And you can see how cool that looks compared to what you may have been doing in Docs. The other thing that you might consider for Google Slides being over Google Docs is the ability to embed a background. Your background can be an image, it could be a color. If you use an image, you just go to choose, and then you can actually search here right inside of Google Docs. So you could do something floral. It's almost springtime right now when we're recording this video. So I could pull something floral. I've got that cool, this is kind of a cool tree, and that's going to give me a really nice background, which is sweet, right? Super sweet. Looks really nice. You can also just keep messing around with whatever it is that you have, and you can do that kind of stuff there on the background. So look how nice already this looks as a handout compared to what you can do in Google Docs. Really, really nice. Take a look at all the other things that you can insert here. You can insert charts. Obviously, you can insert videos, but that's not going to print out if this is a handout. But if this is something you're assigning on Google Drive, why not embed a video? Why not? Let's see. Let's add a Super Bowl commercial. Let's go ahead and do that. The 84 lumber. What a cool commercial that was. Okay. I can embed this commercial in here. And all of a sudden, if I'm assigning this to a student on Google Drive and the student goes to click present, right, they've got everything they need to read, plus they can watch their video right here in this like interactive handout. It's really nice. Okay. So everything embeds and is digital and live right here in a Google slide, whereas not so simple in Google Docs. Let's see, what else can I share with you? Let's go back to insert. I already told you about word art. Pardon me. Of course, lines and shapes are very simple to use and move around in Google Slides. Really, really easy. You can still comment on Google Slides the same way you can comment on Google Docs, so you're not going to lose any of that ability, which is really great. That all stays with you. So I just consider you guys thinking about maybe switching over to Google Slides if you are feeling a little dull on Google Docs. Try it out. Don't forget to adjust the page setup first so that you get it handout size the way that you like, and then feel free to mess around with all the other options. I want to show you one more really cool idea that you can do with Google Docs. I'm just going to go ahead and do another presentation. One other popular and trendy thing that's come along on the internet these days, which has been a very cool technique to use in classrooms, is the creation of infographics. The creation of infographics. And an infographic, I mean, you guys should know what I'm talking about. I will see if I can pull up a cool one to show you really quick. Infographics are typically very long images, and they showcase data in a visual way. So this is kind of cool. The Ohio River, that's pretty sweet. Let's see if I can find one that's kind of long on a longer landscape there. Let's see. Well, these are all kind of squarish. They used to be pretty long, but these are all really cool. So take a look here at, this is really nice. Let's view this one here. So this is, pardon me, a little bit small for us to see. Let's see if we can get a bigger one here so we can actually talk about it and look at it. Let's see. How about here? How big is this one? Let's see. Oh yeah, perfect. Okay, so you can see here, right, added sugar is not so sweet. This is from the American Heart Association, and they've kind of got these really simplified icons with data. Icon, data, icon, data. Really clean and clear images, more icons with data, definitions, and information. Really, really cool. But you can see, you can imagine, I'm sure, trying to pull off something like this on Google Docs would be nearly impossible. However, creating this in Google Slides would be really, really easy. So all you need to do, once again, is go to your page setup, choose custom, and then choose your dimensions how you want them to be. You could do 8.5. That's going to keep it your width by your length, and you could do 25. 8.5 by 25. Now you got this really long image, and you can kind of list and chunk, and you can move things around in images. It's really, really a simple way to have students create an infographic, or you could create one for the students. Even easier. Inserting images is so simple. You can actually search again right here inside of slides without ever leaving. Right, you can just go ahead and grab those right there. Ooh, that's kind of gross. Chutney. I don't think kids would even know what chutney is. Perfect, right? I don't even know what my infographics about, but maybe it'll be about ketchup. I saw that in the last one. So there you go. You can see how the image actually can stretch that whole width right there. Really sweet here. And there you go. You can see the previews over here on the left-hand side what it's actually going to look like when it's done. Once you finish creating your infographic, you can go ahead and hit File and download as. And then here is where you guys can save it actually as an image. So this image you could put on your website. You could put this image inside a Google Doc if you really wanted to. You could just give this to kids to look at. The kids could create their own and then download the image and share it with you. So simple, because when it's actually an image, so let's say I download it as a JPEG, instead of having to go into Google Slides, they'll actually just be able to view the image as an image, which is pretty sweet and fun for kids to experience. So that's all I have for you guys right now. Stay tuned for more updates coming soon about Google Slides and your classroom. Bye, everyone.